Business Foundations for Mums, with me, Kate Butcher, is the podcast to listen to if you are a mum who is ready to launch your business, not sure where to start, or wanting to turn that sideline into something more serious. It will be full of practical tips, mindset advice, and inspirational and honest interviews with mums who are juggling business and motherhood, supporting mums in business to turn your dream into a reality. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Business Foundations for Mums. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the confidence blocks that mums can face when starting a business. So starting a business can be a really overwhelming experience. It can be something that lots of people find really difficult, and lots of people really put it off for a long time because they're stuck in the overwhelm and worried about all the things that they're going to have to learn and do and how they're going to fit it in. And there's so many different factors that can contribute to the anxiety around starting a business and make it a really challenging experience. But that said, it doesn't have to be a bad experience. It can also be absolutely amazing, and it can create something wonderful and give you the opportunity as a mum to really get your passion out there and do something that you're passionate about and not feel that you're stuck in a 9-to-5 job, not necessarily being able to be there for your children, not necessarily doing something that you totally love doing. So just to really cover the basics of what we're going to be talking about, there are a number of different confidence blocks that mums can face when they're starting their business. There's often a lot of self-doubt. It's that feeling of not being good enough, not knowing enough, not understanding enough, not knowing what you're doing, not knowing anything about business. That's one I hear all the time. I don't know anything about running a business. I've never run a business before. Nobody who runs a business for the first time has ever run a business before. But there are sometimes some opportunities to maybe try things out, to join other businesses that are existing, to get support from other people. So lots of things you can do around that, definitely. But there's often that self-doubt. Will I be good enough? Will the job that I do be good enough? Will the products that I make be good enough to sell? There is also fear of failure, and that's a really massive one. The fear of making a mistake, the fear of failing in your business, the fear of letting people down, the fear of people seeing you failing can be a massive one. But also on a counterpoint to that, a lot of people are also really fearful of succeeding. What's going to change if your business takes off, if you succeed? How are you going to juggle it all? How are you going to manage it all? How will people perceive you if you have a really successful business behind you? Another really big confidence block for a lot of people is imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is something I'm sure if you've listened to any previous episodes, you're quite likely to have heard it come up. Imposter syndrome is something that almost all women struggle with, almost all women face at some point. And actually, there are some really successful, hugely successful women out there who talk quite openly about their own struggles with imposter syndrome. It's that fear of being a fraud, of not deserving the success. Who am I to run a business? Who am I to have a business that does this particular thing or that particular thing when there are other people out there who can do it even better than me, or who have been doing it for so much longer than me? Who am I to have a successful business? I'm nothing special. There's a lot of doubt that can come with imposter syndrome, and it can be a real block for a lot of people. But again, there's lots of things that you can do to work through it. There's lots of exercises, there's lots of things that I've come across which can really help with that. Comparison to others is a massive block as well. This can be a real confidence knocker, and it can have a really negative impact if you compare yourself to others. I think we all know the really negative impact that potentially comparing yourself to other people on social media can also have. When you go online and you see people who've got these beautiful houses and these wonderful lives, and they're doing amazing holidays, and it's all sunshine and roses. And actually, I think, again, we all know that that isn't the reality for the vast majority of people, even if that's what they're putting out on social media. But comparison to others can be a real challenge, because when you look at other people who have got their businesses out there already, they're doing something similar to you, it's really easy to get put off, to be knocked in your confidence and to wonder why it is that you're going to be any better than them or different to them. When other people are doing things really well, it's a challenge to know how you can fit in and compare to that. The reality is you don't need to compare. You need to do your own thing. And you also need to bear in mind things like they might have been running their business for 10 years, which is why they've got it to such an amazing state that they have, or they might have been running it for, a couple of years behind the scenes before they've put out their new social media account. You don't know the reality of what goes on in someone's business. They might have an amazing social media account, but no income. So you never really know. And comparisonitis can be a real kicker. And one of the things that a lot of people also really, really worry about when they're starting a business as a mum is how on earth you're going to balance family life and running a business. We all know that running a business is not easy. It takes work. And whilst there's lots of people who put out there, let's do the 4-hour work week and let's create a business where you don't really need to be there all of the time, you still need to put in the legwork, particularly at the beginning. It's so important to make sure that you are putting in the time and you are putting in the effort. And regardless of how easy other people make it seem, I can guarantee every business owner has had to put in the hours at some point to get their business to where it is. But actually, a lot of people really worry about how they're going to balance all of that work with their already existing super busy family lives. And particularly if you need to start your business whilst you're still in a full-time position, whilst you're still working, and then manage family life and a business on top of that, it can be so much and it can be really daunting and really overwhelming. But again, it is possible if you do it right, if you find the right way to do it. You've probably heard some of my other episodes where I interview successful mums who are running their businesses. We try to always touch on some of the challenges, and one of the biggest challenges is that balancing everything. But it is something that we try to talk about during the interview. So if you do want some inspiration, then jump onto some of the interviews and find out from some of the mums who are running their businesses how they do it, how they juggle it, how they balance it, what fears they've overcome. The reality is we're all real people. We're all pretty normal. None of us, I don't think, are exceptional, or maybe we are all exceptional. I don't know. But the reality is, if I can do it, you can do it. If the other mums out there are doing it, there's no reason that if you set your mind to it, that you can't achieve the same thing. There's lots of different ways that you can work on the confidence blocks that might come up for you as a mum in business. And I'm going to spend some time on the upcoming episodes talking about those specific different areas of confidence that I've just mentioned and focusing an episode on each one of those because each of them deserves an episode of its own. There are certainly things that you can do to work on those confidence blocks as well. One of the things is to look at your mindset, to look at how you perceive things, to look at positive talk. Practicing positive talk and positive self-talk is so important when it comes to mindset. If you think that you can't do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. There's an absolutely brilliant quote by Henry Ford. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So if you go into things with a mindset that you can't do it, that you're not going to be successful, that you're not going to succeed, that you're not going to achieve it, that you can't do it, that it's too difficult, then you'll be right. It will be. But if you go into it with a mindset of positivity, of knowing that you can achieve it, then there's no reason that you won't be able to find ways to do that. A growth mindset, embracing learning, looking at things as opportunities rather than challenges, finding a way. If there's something out there that you want to achieve and that you want to do and you can't afford it, rather than thinking, I can't afford it, so I won't, it's about thinking, how am I going to find a way to afford this? Changing the way that you view things. Setting realistic goals can also be really, really helpful when it comes to looking at your confidence within your business as well. So looking at the big goals that you have, what you want to achieve, and then breaking those down into much smaller, much more manageable step-by-step tasks, really small tasks. And if you listen to my last episode, my episode where I interviewed Kat Wilmore, she talked about exactly that when her children were small, it was a really difficult time to get anything done within her business. Before they were at school, she would spend time just trying to do one small thing every day. And that might have just been listening to a podcast or 10 minutes of artwork or whatever it might have been, but one small thing every day just to move the business forward a little bit. And it's about breaking it down into those small manageable tasks that you can do day by day and step by step that build up to a task that is completed and a goal that has succeeded. Celebrate your small wins as well, because that can really help to grow your confidence. Having a support network is key as well. Connecting with other people who are like-minded in business is a really, really good way to grow your confidence, to go to somebody. You've got somebody then that you can reach out to if you're struggling, to go to for advice, to seek inspiration from, to celebrate your wins with you. Find your community. There are some amazing communities out there for mums in business. If you're local to where I am in Aylesbury, I have a women's networking group, which is always such a supportive and lovely environment to be in. I also attend groups in various places. I attend groups in Aylesbury, networking groups. And also, if you are a mum in business, have a look for the Mums in Business International group on Facebook. They have networking meetings all over the country. They have groups all over the country and all over the world who get together as mums in business and meet up on a regular basis with guest speakers. There's so much learning, but it's more than anything, it's that sense of being with like-minded people who understand the same struggles as you and you can relate to. And everybody in those communities that I've met is so incredibly supportive and definitely a great place to have a community and a network. It's really important when you're in business as well to always be continually learning, to growing your skills, to learning new things, to setting some targets as to what you want to achieve. And once you've looked into what it is you want to learn about and know about, you find out about it, you learn about it, you develop, you grow. Attend workshops and webinars, courses. There's lots of free stuff out there, but there's also lots of paid content out there. There is so much information out there. So you can find out so much for free on the internet. There's always ways to learn anything you want to for free. But equally, you can go to some kind of paid event or paid learning or paid online course or whatever it may be, and you'll find that somebody has collated all of that information for you and made it into a package ready to present to you and ready for you to learn. Self-care is massively important and well-being as a mum in business. If you don't look after yourself, you're going to run out of energy, you're going to be disgruntled, you're going to be resentful of your business, you're going to be resentful of the children and the tasks and the things around the home that you need to do. So it's really, really important to make sure that you look after yourself, you put yourself first, and your physical and mental health is looked after. These may not seem like things that are business related, but they are so massively important. It's so important to look after your well-being, to have that self-care time when you have so much to juggle when it comes to family and business, and having that time to make sure that you're feeling refueled and ready for everything that the world is going to throw at you on that day is a huge and important part of it. And a final strategy for helping you to overcome any of those fears and those confidence struggles that you're feeling when you're starting a business is around taking action despite any fear that you have. It's absolutely normal to be really fearful when you're starting a business, when you're in the early stages, even when you're in the business and you're taking new steps and doing new things. But taking small steps towards your business goals, even when you're feeling fearful about it, pushing past those boundaries, pushing past that fear that holds you back, carrying on and doing it anyway. That's the way that you're going to move your business forward and actually make a success of it. Action builds confidence and it reduces fear over time. And as you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you become more comfortable with pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Some practical things that you can do as well to help yourself if you're feeling that you're struggling in confidence in your business, or that you're thinking about starting a business and you're struggling with confidence. Try some visualizations. Visualize the success that you're going to have and the steps that you need to achieve it, and then use that to help you to build a positive self-image. Affirmations can be really helpful as well. Create some affirmations that really help you and support you. You can find plenty of suggestions of affirmations online as well, and find the ones that really resonate with you, and then use those on a daily basis. Look in the mirror, reinforce that self-belief using those affirmations. Journaling can be really helpful, and meditation as well, to really focus on where you're going, what you want to do, to track your progress, to reflect on achievements, to address your fears and find a way to work through them as well. So finally, remember that confidence is something that is built over time and through experience. It does take practice, and everyone has struggled with confidence at some point in their life. And by pushing past it, by pushing past that fear, you will, over time, start to move past those confidence blocks that are holding you back. And all of a sudden, working in your business on a day-to-day basis will be the normality, not the thing that you're not feeling confident to do. Look at motivational quotes that other people are putting out there. Look at anecdotes that inspire you. Listen to podcasts from other inspirational mums. Listen to networking meetings and go and meet mums at networking. There are plenty of mums out there, whether they're at mumpreneur style networking or whether they're in your own networking. There's loads of different opportunities to find that encouragement. And think about embracing your unique strengths as well. Think about your perspectives as valuable assets on your journey through your business, into creating your business. So maybe have a think about some of those strategies that I talked about. Think about some of those practical tips that we've talked about today. Try them, because actually some might work brilliantly for you and some you might try and decide that that's just not for you. Everyone has different strategies and different things that work for them. But I'd love to hear your experiences and your feedback. I'd love to hear whether you have overcome any confidence blocks or whether you're really stuck at the moment in confidence. I'm more than happy to have a chat with anyone who wants to talk to me about the things that they're struggling with in confidence. I would encourage you to go out there and to join some communities. So even if you don't have a business yet, that doesn't mean that you can't join some of the communities that are out there. So come along and join my community, Business Foundations for Mums, which is a group on Facebook. Look up the Mums in Business International group, which is a really good one. A huge international group full of inspiring mums in business. Look up your local Mums in Business International group as well. There's loads of different groups for them online. Spend some time looking at the things that you feel you need to grow and develop and learn, and then look into where you can find out about those things, where you can learn about those things. And if you found this episode useful or interesting, I would love it if you subscribe to the podcast, listen to some of the inspiring interviews that I have with other mums in business, and leave me a review. And of course, if you know another mum in business who's thinking about starting a business and is struggling with confidence, feel free to share this particular episode with them as well. Thank you for joining me today on Business Foundations for Mums, and I look forward to our next episode where I will be interviewing another inspiring mum in business. Thank you for joining us here at Business Foundations for Mums. You can find all of our episodes, show notes and blog posts at businessfoundationsformums.co.uk, and you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook.